tired of wearing them at the end of the day. Okay, we'll open the meeting here at 6 o'clock. Councilor Rist, as we all know, is absent for true and family reasons.
Yes.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, motion approved 2-0. There's clearly no public speaking. There's clearly no mayor's report. This brings us to the main discussion tonight. What we're going to do, is what I've been looking at, is you just need this. Okay, this is the one we had.
Yes.
We also, Councilor Rist also contacted the senator. We had some, not a real update, but I'll let you know where it was going. Some feel. So this actually ended up making us ask a couple more questions, basically on the scrubbers. You can read this, but I need that.
Sure. Thank you.
Unless I got an extra one here. Okay, I do have an extra one. So you can keep that. So that's the state's position on this. Basically, to reiterate, it really doesn't tell us a lot. So it does explain a little bit better vision of what the charge of the task force is. Lets us know that there's clearly only 2 power plants left in the state that use coal, and it also, in their minds, in the minds of this committee anyways, indicates that they meet up-to-date standards, but they don't talk about the scrubbers, and they're looking into that. So we still have some back and forth coming. Okay. I will say this, we did, in the previous discussion, we talked about the city of Holyoke, and if they have taken any action on your request?
We haven't moved forward with doing the same thing with Holyoke yet, but we are working closely with City Councilor Vega, who's also a state rep right now. So as a state rep, Aaron Vega signed on to our Clean Energy Commonwealth bill, which does a lot of great things that we're talking about. So it puts a moratorium on coal burning, retires the existing coal plants, but the part that we like the most in there is that there's a worker and community transition piece in there, so there's an actual funding mechanism in place, so that when these plants do retire, there's a funding mechanism in place that'll kick in, that'll help the workers in these plants transition to another industry, whether it's retraining or whatever it may be, help them out with that, and also helps with transition funding for the communities, so that when I think I mentioned this last time, what we see often is that when these plants retire, they'll say, we're going to be here, we're going to be here, and then, like that, they announce, that's it, we're done. So what that does, it gives these communities more time to start planning for when those plants are going to be there, so they're not losing that tax base immediately.
So it was 2008 that the coal plant at the university came down. Now it's the hole in the ground.
At UMass.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, UMass, they were able to transition to natural gas.
Yeah, because we have one boiler there anyways.
Yep. But sorry, you work at...
Yes.
You were even... Okay, all right. I'm trying to remember which one. Yeah, so UMass, they were able to transition to natural gas. Mount Tom, it's not feasible for Mount Tom to transition to natural gas.
Yes, because of the location, we know.
Right, right.
Okay. So that brings us up to date. Do you have anything you'd like to add there?
I'm just taking my notes.
Okay. Is there any new information that you that's in this packet for us to?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we have, and mentioned this, I'm trying to mention this last time we were here, was that and Senator Knappich refers to this in his email here. The draft permit that was put in place, that was issued by DEP in December, we've now moved on to the point where DEP has accepted the modeling, which is that package you have right there. Yeah. They've accepted that as scientifically stringent, recognize there's an issue of pollution, recognize that Mount Tom is the cause of that pollution. and now is putting it up to Mount Tom. They've been issued a letter by DEP asking Mount Tom to do a modeling analysis of their own to come up with, to see what their conclusions of that are. And then from there, the state's going to move forward with finalizing an operating air permit for the plant.
Okay. I want to check out a couple of things. This one. That's the one we have. This is new. That's what we went over.
And the other new piece I have in there is the Coal-Free Massachusetts platform, which is the second page in your packet.
This?
The Coal-Free Mass logo right at the top of it. Yeah, it was behind the letter right
okay,
there.
yeah.
And that's part of the statewide coalition that the Sierra Club and a couple of Holyoke groups are a part of. It's a coalition of about 60 groups statewide, environmental law, labor, faith groups, working for, obviously, a coal-free Massachusetts.
Okay, this is something to read. Have any questions you want to ask or anything you want to say? Councilor Riss said if we wish to vote on it tonight, we could. I said no. I said we should all be in the room, something like this. And so our main goal tonight was actually a scheduled meeting for next Monday, if it's possible. I'm going to ask for a third copy of this to put in his mailbox. Just to make sure he gets this.
And you could I try to answer one of the...
In a minute. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to answer something that Senator Nappick brought up here in his email in the first paragraph. So when he's talking about the last bit I had was the plant was meeting DEP emissions. We completely agree with that. Our issue with this is that the emissions limits that are put on the plant by the air permit aren't strict enough to meet air standards for the region. And that's, I just want to clear that up. So the current limits on the expired permit aren't strong enough to meet clean air standards for the Pioneer Valley.
Okay. I got nothing because I want Councilor Riss here to actually decide whether I'm going to go forward with a resolution or not. I will posture this. I know that we really defer to Holyoke on this, is why we keep bringing it up, because it's truthfully in their backyard, and we don't want to try to sidestep what they have to do. So we're really kind of waiting to see what the decision of their council is before we, rather than what you're intending to do. So
would it be helpful if I could see if Representative Vega could get in touch with you guys before next week?
Even if you'd like to send either Councilor Rist, our emails are on the city website. Councilor Rist or me, Justin Cobb. If he just wants to do it by email, that's fine too. Just to give his little
kind of take on it.
Input, whatever you would like to have.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. We're still going to chase this down with Senator Goodell.
Absolutely. Anything else I can do that'd be helpful in the meantime, between now and next week, or anything else you guys are looking for or in need of that we can help you out with?
I can't think of it.
No, I'd just rather see what the Holyoke City Council is going to do. It's their ball, it's in their backyard, and I think they should address it first. I don't think you should get a group of cities and towns together and bulldoze your way into Holyoke and say, look, we have this number of cities and towns that want you to shut this thing down. I don't go along with it. I think you're kind of doing an end around it.
Okay.
Along the lines of, well, one is I clearly understand the way they're operating the plant. It's got to be the most efficient way I've ever heard to operate a plant. I've actually heard that from our power plant guys at the university. But I also understand is that we do try to be good neighbors with our surrounding communities. So there has to be, for us to not do that, because we may be asking them to help us out, like for regionalization, et cetera, in the future. We really need to kind of work together. That said, next week, same time, same place. If it's a different room, Councilor Rules will call you. And in that case, I'll put the motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, I'll second it. We have a meeting, motion on the table to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Sorry to trouble you all this way.
problem.
It's okay.